Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to Wantrepreneur Wednesday. So I came on a little earlier this morning and I shared with you all, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Patricia Cimino. I'm a certified life coach and I work with women who are stepping into the next chapter of themselves. And over the course of this last year, a lot of the clients that I've been working with have been women who have been discovering the next chapter of themselves. And through that discovery process, they've discovered that they want to get back into a career, but they want to make it their own. They want to do something entrepreneurial that has meaning. And so that sparked the idea in me to kick off a series, this mini series called Wantrepreneur Wednesday, where every Wednesday I'm bringing to you a different woman entrepreneur that I know that's just rocking it in their business. And today I am super, super excited to bring to you a dear friend of mine. Her name is Sara Fix. Sara is, oh my gosh. Okay. So she is like an athlete like I've never seen before. And I will let you share with you all of that. She's competed in, I think it's 25 Ironman competitions, run endless marathons. She's just an unbelievable athlete. She also has a bricks and mortar store called Endure It. And it's, a training store for triathletes. She's going to explain a little more. But in addition to that, she does coaching and she does a lot of other things. She's just a really cool person that I really think is inspiring to a lot of people. And I hope that this interview inspires you. So welcome, Sara, to the broadcast. Sara, I just want you to just start off with telling my audience who you are and what you do and how you help people.
Okay, so my name is Sara Fix, and I live in Hinsdale. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you recognize me or know me. Anyway, and I guess, I was a mom predominantly, and a wife, and I was in the sport of triathlon that I was introduced into through my husband. I was a marathon runner, just sort of for fun. And then my husband was a triathlete and introduced me to the sport, and I loved it and got very, very involved with it. So that's sort of where I started with all of this. Hi, Jim. And now, as time has gone on, in 2005, my husband decided to leave William Blair and open up. He was really a world-class swimmer, and he was very good at triathlon and had done the Ironman World Championship several times. He was kind of at a crossroads at William Blair, and he decided to open up endurance sports, and that would be a training facility and retail for triathletes. And he did that in 05, 06, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I wasn't really that involved with Endure It at all, as Patty probably knows. My thing was being a mom, and I trained kind of on my own. At this point, I had done several Ironmans and was pretty immersed in the sport, but I just didn't have the time to go and visit the locations that David was opening and get involved in the business. So from about 2005-06 to about 2010, David expanded Endure It into a lot of different avenues. He opened up a place in Willowbrook that was kind of off-road biking and mountain biking, and then he had there was a training facility in there, and then we had a clothing shop, and he had a little personal fitness area, and then he also had the big Naperville shop at 5th and Mill that was the original. And as most of you know, this was at a time that our economy was in the world's worst recession. I mean, it was a really bad time, and David was expanding out of, I believe, just kind of, he started with a great concept, but as it got a little stagnant, he would, instead of kind of focusing in, he would diversify and make it bigger and do something completely different. And by 2010, we were really in trouble. And my kids were basically at the age, Andrew was going into kindergarten. So I could start to spend more time in the shops. And I started to recognize that Endurant was probably in a place that was not going to allow us to continue our life the way it had been. So I asked David if he could go back to work and I would take over Endurant. And it was basically the perfect storm, because I look back now and I took over Endurant. 2010, 2011, I started to immerse myself in it, really understand the business. And there was a lot of the business that I didn't understand. I didn't understand how to sell bikes. I didn't understand what selling a bike meant. So now I own a bike shop and I own bike shops, and I don't really know that much about selling bikes. I own a clothing store, and luckily in my early 30s, I had owned a clothing store downtown. So I was well aware of retail and how that all worked. I owned a business downtown for about 10 years. So I could handle, I took on the clothing store business, the personal training, we kind of shot that out the door right away. The training for me was pretty much obvious because I had gotten certified to coach, and I had also done at this point probably, I don't really know, but probably 10, 11, 12 Ironmans. I'd been already to the World Championships. So, that was sort of an easy thing that I could grasp. Coming into that scenario, this is a lot of information, but we probably had, 5 locations, 30 employees, and half the business I really didn't understand. And, but it was a necessity for David to go back to work. And Endurant was in a place that we couldn't close the doors as most businesses accumulate debt and that kind of thing. I couldn't just walk out on it. So I did something by 2012. I was fully immersed and was really understanding every aspect of it. Originally, Patty was with me when I first started kind of getting my feet wet in it. I started a run club. I started doing little programs within Endurant to see kind of where I stuck and where I would fit in. And then it got to a point where I wasn't going to be able to kind of dabble in it. I really needed to understand the business, and I really needed to fix it. So in 2012, 13, I don't know exact dates, I hired a business consultant. He spent days with me in training, days with me coaching people, days with me at Run Club, at the clothing shop. He saw me in every single light. And he looked at me and he said, I've never really seen anything like this. And he said, you can do any one of these businesses. The thing is that your umbrella is so big and there's so much going on and there's no brand here. And we need to figure out, and Patty talks a lot about this in all of her podcasts, what really resonated with me. Did I want to sell Patty Go New jackets and have parties and have little things going on in a clothing shop and go on buying trips? Was retail going to ever be anything? Was I going to be standing around bored waiting for people to come into a shop? Because as you all know, retail was changing with the internet and that kind of thing. Could I make it fun? Was it challenging? Would it be worth spending days and time away from my children to have a clothing shop? Because really I needed to pick things and start fine-tuning exactly what I was going to do. Or did I want to do the coaching? Did I want to stay involved in triathlon? Or did I want to sell bikes? Did I want to do retail? There were so many parts to this. And as you all may be a little more comfortable understanding retail, I know you all have seen it in big box stores and how they closed. It happens that was happening in little shops as well. People going onto the internet, yes, sure, they'll use the shop to get the size and the brand, then go on the internet. The same thing was happening in the bike industry. So any soft sell, any soft items, as well as the big bikes. Bikes weren't doing well. The manufacturers were then going dealer direct. So they were going, customer direct. A lot of bike lines were not selling to the dealers anymore, letting people like Trek even in high-end bikes, which is what we specialized in, going right to the customers. So we were losing that. So where would I fit in? What was the thing that spoke to me? And the thing that spoke to me, and it gives me chills every time I say it, and I think Patty, because she was in my run club, she can tell you, I am 100% passionate about the idea of helping people find their finish line. I don't care if it's a 5K, I don't care if it's a 10K, I don't care if it's a marathon, and I don't care if it's an Ironman. I am 100% passionate about helping people take health and fitness and putting it in their lives and putting it into their families' lives, being a role model to their children, being a role model to their spouse and their friends. And it doesn't have to be 100% about health and fitness, but that if I can help people find their finish line, accomplish that goal, it's just a little part of them that makes them feel so much better, and then they're more successful in everything else they're doing, as being a parent, being an employee, being whatever it is that they're doing. So I really recognized that my thing was passing this passion and this, I guess it's a gift because I'm now 52 years old. I'm going to race in 2 weeks, my 25th Ironman. I can do between 2 and 3 Ironmans a year. I have not been, I'm sick, unfortunately, but I have never really been terribly injured. I just have had a gift of health and being able to compete and find my finish lines that have made me definitely become the person that I am. And so that's sort of that's kind of where I felt it. That's where I felt like, okay, this is it. I love this part. So what happened to Endure It? Endure It in 2014, we just completely stripped it down. And we became, as Patty kind of was talking about, the thing that she was inspired by, a brand. And the brand is Endure It, but the brand is also Sara Fix. And the brand is, so what Eric, I have a partner. I bought out all the investors. I am the sole owner of Endure It. And with Eric Sweat Equity, he's been at Endure It for 9 years. He's now a 10% partner, and his growth as he continues being committed to Endure It just will continue to grow. But the two of us own Endure It, and what we really came away with is that we're a club. Endure It. Yeah. So I could get on so many tangents, but what adults are craving.
It's a special store.
Yeah. What adults are craving the same thing the kids are craving. All this intimacy and all this connection is being taken out of our lives with phones and all this other stuff. And yes, there's golf clubs, and then there's the health club. But a niche is triathlon. So triathlon and cycling. So we were a club. I mean, David definitely instilled in that Endure It was a club. But what I became was solely a club. So Endure It is really, people say, oh, are you, in competition with maybe Urban Tri-Gear or Get a Grip? We're not. Endure It is a triathlon and cycling club. We have brick and mortar locations that are basically clubhouses. We train inside the facilities, and we have the ability to take care of our customers on every single level. We do coaching. We do in-house coaching. We have Run Club. We have a swim team because we're part of West Swim, West Superior Swim Training. So we do all of our swims out of there. We do camps year-round all over the country. We have events. We do 4 events a year that we pull, obviously, our club members and other people in the community to see how amazing Endure It is, and we give all that money to charity. So we are a clubhouse and a club primarily that takes care of their customers and their club members, but also can take care of the outside. So let's say Patty's like, oh, well, I don't really want to do triathlon, but I want to come back to Run Club. Great. We have 7 runs a week, actually 9 runs a week. Come to Run Club, you sign up, and that's how you're going to utilize our club. You want to be a full triathlete, you just want to wear your Endurance kit, and you live out in Oswego and you can't make it to Endurance, but you want to come to our events, you want to have your bike taken care of here, you want to have all your bike shipped to every event, we can take care of every little nuance for you as far as racing. If you want online coaching, we have coaches that coach online and give you your training program every week. So it's really what happened was we got rid of all the riffraff. We figured out what I was really good at and what I'm really, I don't know if I'm really good at it, but what I care so much about and what I feel so committed to is when you walk through that door, you're now in my home. When you're in my home, I'm going to give you every bit of information, every bit of knowledge that I've collected since 1999 to help you be the best triathlete you can be. How to help manage it with your family, how to help train for it, how to help sign up for these events, how to get to them physically strong, mentally strong, and nutritionally strong. We have all components. So, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you want to take from me or how little. You can, you kind of decide that as you go through the process. So
well, you totally, like all the questions that I had for you, you put it all together in one big answer, which is awesome. You told us your why, how passionate you are about what you do and the reason why you have doors open and how you treat everyone. And it's just awesome. I think, one thing that I like to always ask people that I'm interviewing is this mindset of the entrepreneur. Like, you juggle it. You juggle family life. You juggle, being a mom. You juggle being an entrepreneur. You juggle being a wife, and an athlete. Like, there's going to be days like right now you're sick and you have something coming up. Like, what is the mindset that you're employing, that you're thinking and believing about who you are that makes you want to hit your finish line?
Let's see. So I've had over the last 12 days, obviously, as you can imagine. So when I go to an Ironman now, I'm not going to Ironman just to do another Ironman. I'm going to go to Ironman because I want to win the Ironman and I want to go on to the World Championships. So in 2016 and 2017, I went, 15 and 16, I went back-to-back years to Kona for my fourth and fifth visit, and I finished seventh in the world both years. And last year I took a year off. So right now, for me, this was my comeback year. I did have some, we don't have to get into it, but I did have a little bit of my first go-around with injury. So I wanted to take a full year and really get healed and figure out what was going on. And I did that, and now here I am, ready for my comeback, and I'm not well. And sure, that it's hit me on a lot of different levels over the last 12 days. But I was really, really bummed 7 or 5 days ago. And now today I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling better. Like so what? I missed 1 week out of my 8-month block. I missed 1 week. And, sure, maybe my lungs aren't 100%. And I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. And I can't predict it. But one thing I know about myself, I thrive in adversity.
Mindset right there.
Yeah, I know. My mantra to myself is show me something I can't handle. And I can tell you from 2014 to 2018, the struggle to put Endurance where it is on the map right now, and what we did to create the company that we've created took a lot of work. And there was a lot of days I said, show me something I can't handle. There was mornings I was in tears. There was days I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through it? And you know what? I got through it. And Endurance, our club right now, is ranked, I think, globally 7th in the world, and I think we're 5th in the nation.
Wow.
We're the largest club in Illinois, and we have, I think, the best staff and the best customer service. We take care of people on all sorts of levels, and so I think that going through some of those hardships has just made me stronger and stronger, So yeah, I do. I sit here and I'm like, oh, well, it didn't exactly go my way. I mean, I didn't stay healthy. But you know what?
Okay.
You know what? Maybe this is just the way it has to go. I took a week off. I got a week of rest. I mean, when does that ever happen? Where people actually, feel sorry for me and tell me to stay in bed and don't come to run club and don't come to combi trainer class and don't expect much from me. So I think that it might be a given gift, and we'll see. I'm supposed to leave a week from today, and I really believe I'm going to be fine. So yeah, I do. I don't. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I don't know when everything is perfect. So
right. Moving from that space, and that sounds like the mentality that you have that's really caused you to be success in your business. Handle the ups and downs, because entrepreneurship it's up and down, right? And so I think this athletic mindset that you have is so powerful, and it's helped you get through the business side of the house, right?
Right.
Tell me, what would you tell a woman who is contemplating her next step and what she wants to do? Like, what would be your best piece of advice to her?
Okay, so this is okay. I've listened to your other things, and I have to say, and first of all, I also, if Molly is watching, Molly, I loved your interview, and Molly is also my neighbor, and I'm so impressed and proud of her. And my daughter used her company as well for the college process, and it was really, really wonderful. And I got lucky in this, and Jared got dropped on me, and then I got this big, expansive company that for some reason there was lots of parts to it, so I could pick something that really, really spoke to my soul. And it's so easy. Like, I love my sport so much. I mean, I would not be what I am today without my sport. And it also helps me understand my kids' sports, and it helps me understand how my kids are feeling. It also, it gives me such an empathetic mind, and then like all those times I finished those races and felt so happy and so accomplished, in times maybe that things weren't so great or whatever it was. And I wanted to be able to like give that gift forward. So, okay, so that's what speaks to me, right? That was really, really like what got me right here. More than selling a shirt, more than selling a bike. I mean, I will sell you a bike. We sell bikes. We sell Cervelo, Scott, and Trek. I will go to the end of the earth to sell you a bike, but only because I want you to be on the best product you can be on going forward, not because I want to really sell a bike. I mean, I want you to understand why you're on a bike that you're on, and I want you to understand why it is the way it is, and what the size means, and the fitting means, and what the parts are, and why you're spending the money you're spending. I want you, that's where my passion is. I want people to get educated in, this process so that it can be a lifelong thing and they don't need me forever. So, anyway, so I would say that is really what spoke to me. And that's where I'm going to agree with Molly and you, that you really, and I don't know how someone gets lucky where it's just, you really get it. You're like, okay, I'm good at this. I can make this connection. Molly with her, helping kids write stories on their applications, you with helping people find their life goal and helping them kind of navigate that. But you just, whatever it is, and it can be a clothing store, and it could be coffee, and it can be smoothies, and it can be fruit juice. It could be whatever you are passionate about. And I think that is the key.
The main ingredient.
And then I think the next thing, I don't know, you're doing it one-on-one. I'm sure it would probably be helpful too for you. But for me, having a partner, someone that because there are so many things that are thrown in your plate on your lap every single day, emotional, physical, mental, from every aspect, the books, and to have someone that you really are confident in, you really feel secure with, you really feel understands you and you understand them, having that partnership is really, really helpful, because there's times you get so overwhelmed that you can't quite see through the forest. So it helps to have that person that's kind of got your back. So, I don't think they have to be a partner in your company necessarily, but someone that you can really utilize and you respect, and they respect you, and that you can, because I would say that's the toughest part, is when you're feeling, a little bit, overwhelmed, to be able to have that person to say, okay, you know what, that's really not that big of a deal. Let's take a step back. Let's do this. Let's navigate it this way. And then everything seems brighter and better.
Yeah, a support tank is definitely a good thing to have. Surround yourself with, that accountability and support from people who are on the same page as you, who are like-minded. So that's very, very true. Well, I just want to close this interview with Molly or Sara. Sara is, what I love about Sara is that she is a total product of her product. And what I mean by that is she lives and breathes what she's teaching, what she's selling other people. And I think that there's, I see a lot on the internet and a lot of people out there who are starting businesses that really don't have, they're not talking the talk. They haven't done the work, or they don't have the transformation, but they're trying to sell it. So I think it's critical to be a product of your product and to believe in what you are offering, to believe in yourself, and to believe that there's a client that really has a need for it. So, and I think that, Sara has that, definitely. She has completely encompassed all of that in her work. So Sara, tell the audience where they can find you guys, if they're local or if they're not local, and online, because you do things that are out of state. Like you have that thing in California, that retreat, that, tell us where they can find out information about Endure It.
All right. So just very quickly. So we have our biggest brick and mortar location is at 5th and Mill in Naperville. And then we have a smaller, I call it my Rocky Balboa studio. It's my favorite little place to train. It's in Westmont on Quincy and Cass. And in the Naperville location, we do obviously inside cycling year round, where you bring your own bike and store your own bike here and cycle indoors. We have classes. We have 32 classes a week. We have 8 coaches. We have full mechanic work, so anything you need fixed on any type of bike we can take care of. And then we do all of our sales here. So we sell Trek, Cervelo, and Scott. We have, we're FIT certified, so that means that we do professional bike fitting and retrofitting to make sure that you are in the most powerful and comfortable position on a bike and on the best bike. And then we obviously sell all the things that go along with the sport right here in the store. And the same with the Westmont location. In addition, and then there we also train and do all that as well. Swim team, we use West Superior Training, which we do 4 or 5 swims a week out of West Superior Training. Our Endure It staff coaches all those swims. And then we have Run Club between Hinsdale and Naperville, 9 runs a week that you can sign up for. Run Club. You can go on the website. You can call us. On the website is all of our store numbers and our cell phone numbers.
What is that web address? Is it endurit.com?
Yep.
Is that information in there?
EndureItSports.com. And it is on there. We're as available as possible. I like everybody to text me, email me, call me. I am a total open book, as is Eric.
And you also have a Facebook page, don't you? And Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram.
What are the addresses?
Those are Endure It Sports.
Awesome.
So Endure It Sports for both of those. And also my Facebook page, which is Sara Fix. I put a lot of Endure It on there. In addition, we have 4 camps a year. We do Lake Geneva camps, Madison camp, and we go to Solvang, California for a week in the spring. Coach swim, bike, and run for a week straight in those locations. And then we do 4 events a year. So we do 2 indoor time trials, so cycling events inside during the winter, And then we have Beat the Bird, which is our 5K, which we love, in Fullersburg. And that's on Thanksgiving morning. And that's grown to be quite a big race from 40 runners 6 years ago to 700. And then we have the 2-man time trial, which is at North Central on July 15th, which is, we're changing. We always give our money to Chicago Hope Academy, which is another whole story and a passion of mine. Raising money. We've raised almost $400,000 for Chicago Hope over the last 5 years. But we are, this year, we're giving it to Joe Newton because Joe Newton died, and he was one of the best coaches at York.
That was my high school. He was there when I was there.
So the best. And one of his favorite workouts for his runners was they would come down the track and he'd say, get a partner. And they'd run 400. Sometimes, and a 400 is once around the track. Sometimes he'd have them run 10, sometimes 20, sometimes 50, and that would be their workout. And it was brutal. And these guys are running, 1 minute 400s because they're super, super fast. Joe Newton has the largest coaching resume. I mean, he coached in the Olympics. I mean, he was really a world-class guy. So we're going to give it to the man that is actually putting the race on. He's our first employee we ever had, Dan Chubsky. He's really orchestrating this whole event this year. And this was his coach because he went to York and then went on and ran at Iowa. So we are going to give it to the Joe Newton Foundation. So sign up. It's on July 15th. It's going to be at North Central. You pick your partner, and it's a 10K. So you alternate baton every 400 for a 10K. So you're only running about 3 miles. And it's going to be a great event, all-day event, all different levels. You can sign up for any wave that you want. So that's our next really fun event that we're going to have. And that's pretty much, I mean, I know there's a lot more that we do, but we coach online. And we have events every month in the store, anything value-added, from bike handling skills to nutrition talks to how to take care of your own bike, mechanics, how to use power and all that exciting information, how to be really cutting edge. So if you want, just keep browsing our Facebook page. We always have announcements. Everybody is welcome. And
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Sara.
One last thing I'd have to say. Molly kind of tapped on this, spoke about this too, is I do think that one thing is that starting a business and running a business, one other thing you got to really make sure is that you're ready to work hard. It's a big undertaking, and it takes a lot out of you, but it's so worth it when you find that thing. It comes back every day. Every day you get a little clap, and you just keep on moving.
Awesome. So. Well, thank you. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thank you, Sara, for being here. And I will see you guys again next week.
Okay, great.
Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.